Alright, so I recently bought this Safariland holster, 7378. It's a 7000 series, here for Glock Model 17. So we are going to try to install the 6006 ALS guard. Inside you have some instructions, a little shim, 2 screws which appear to be longer than the ones that come pre-installed on the paddle, and we're going to try and use the paddle with this. The only reason it might not work here is because this is made for 6000 series holsters and this is a 7000 series, so I'm just trying to get the information out, see if I can find a way to make it work. I'm going to try and follow the directions. If that works, I'll bring that back in the end of the video. If not, we'll discuss that and see if there's any modification we can do to make this work. So, hope you guys enjoy. I'll be back once I try and figure something out. Okay, so I read the instructions here. I did some kind of rough hand fitting, and this is how I think it's going to work, and I think it is going to work. You're going to want to take this little rubbery, leathery type shim. Mine had this whole piece still in it. Just press that out. It's already die cut. That's going to go over the more rearward screw. Okay. You're going to mount this up. You want the flat side facing towards your body. That part's going against the holster. You're going to line that up, and you want it pretty much covering the ALS like that. Then we're going to take the included longer screws. We're just going to put the paddle over top, line up the holes, and bolt it down hand tight. It specifically in the directions says use Allen wrench to hand tighten screws, as seen in picture 3 there. So we're gonna give it some tension, but we're not gonna go too crazy on that. I'm gonna screw it together and I'll get back to you. Alright, so like I said, put that shim on there on the back screw, and then I placed it on flat side facing me, facing the body. And then I put this on hand tightened down with the extended screws. Looking at it, it looks like it's gonna push the gun further away from your body, probably 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch, which in my opinion is going to be the biggest downside. The further away from your body it gets, if you're trying to use this for concealment, the harder it's going to be to conceal, and the more likely it is to brush up against your forearm, which can get uncomfortable, but it is what it is. So looking at this, the ALS can still move underneath the guard, which is good, because that means if this happens to get pushed up or something, when you go to reholster, and we do have a unloaded weapon here, when you go to reholster, even with that guard up, it'll still go in, and now you're directly into level 2 retention. And bear with me, working with one hand here. If it can also unlock without the guard being pushed out of the way. With that being said, you're talking about a tiny space here. I don't see any way that would possibly happen in some type of confrontation situation without that guard being pushed out of the way. There's no way someone's going to be able to pull this gun off of you without pushing that forward to activate the ALS, is the way that I see it. So here we'll give you some closer ups, and I'm going to mount this onto my waist, and we'll take it to the mirror and see how it feels. Here we are at the mirror, taking a look on body with the ALS guard, giving us level 2 retention. I don't notice it being further out from the body all that much. In fact, if anything, I feel like it made the gun less crooked like that and more straight in line, if that makes sense. I could be off about this, but still, you know, still comfortable. Paddle feels fine. It is a little bit stiff, this button, especially coming back up. Do I see that as a problem? Absolutely not. I think stiff is good, because you want it to retain itself. You don't want it bumping itself off if you were to, you know, hit up on something. And so I think it's going to stay in place just fine. And I think it's going to do a good job adding an extra level of retention to this holster. Everything seems solid. The draw, still quick. Oh, tripped it up there. You know, it's going to take practice to become proficient with it. There we go. What I noticed so far is when you come for the gun, get your thumb in position and jam up into that beaver tail area, and then once you get it down, your thumb lands right onto the ALS. Then you have a nice high grip on the firearm. So it can definitely be pretty much just as quick as the ALS alone, and I think it's totally worth it for the extra level of security that you get. Now, if we slide this off, I don't know how well I'll be able to show you this, but it feels super solid. That's something I'm gonna have to keep an eye on. But I don't feel any movement between these various three parts: the holster, the ALS guard, and the paddle. It all feels very, very solid, very rigid, so that's good as well. And like I said earlier, even with that guard up, the pistol can still enter the holster and get locked in. So that's fantastic. Hope this was helpful. Hope you enjoyed. Excuse me. One last thing I want to mention here is I do not believe this holster will work with this product, this ALS guard. Like I said, works well with the 7378. Yeah, the 7378. However, this here is a different one, also 7000 series. This is a 7371, and I do not believe it'll work on here because if you look at that ALS tab, see how it is enlarged, whereas if I pop the guard down, you can see that ALS lever is standard sized. Once again, flared out, enlarged, standard sized. For those of you that aren't familiar, the 7371 here is a ALS for the Springfield XDS 3.3. It's the slimline concealment, and it comes standard with the smaller paddle. So the slimline ones, don't expect that to work, but I have a feeling it will work on all standard, full size ALS holsters. So, one more thing to note is it's relatively streamlined too. I think it does draw a little more attention to the ALS button, but the retention is just, it's awesome. Quick comparison. Like I said, it's similar to the level 3s. Here's a level 3. This specific model is for a Glock 21. I don't recommend these level 3s for anything other than strict duty use, because this thing just shoots the butt of the gun way far out, and so it's going to be rubbing up on your forearm all day. It's just quite uncomfortable, but you still pretty much have, I would argue it's pretty much just as secure as a level 3, because the level 3 you'll have the same steps. You just press down to get that to go forward, and then this pulls back, and the down motion to unlock it from going forward. See how you have to, that's what makes it a level 3. But if I just mash the hood, no, I guess not. So that's level 3. ALS with the baby ALS guard is level 2. And then just ALS is level 1. So, personally, this, I think, is going to become my favorite out of all the different levels of retention from Safariland. So, thanks for watching. I think I am going to recommend this product. Like I, haven't had it very long, but I think with some training, it's going to be very secure, very fast, and with training, consistent. So, level 2 is going to be very great. Thanks for watching. Hope this is helpful. Comments, fire them below, and I'll get back to you on that. All right, take it easy. Bye-bye.